Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I am going to continue the same module, that is website design, and the same tutorial, that is HTML tutorial, but with the new chapter or with the new concept, that is HTML forms. In the last class we have started with the chapter number 21, that is HTML forms, but not up to the mark. So let's start with the previous class session what is covered in the last class, that is chapter number 21 HTML form. Then moves to our today's topic, that is how to make the, or what are the various multi-valued argument that we are giving, that is the multi-valued text that we are giving in the chapter, or we are giving in the HTML forms. So let's take a quick review what we have covered in the last class. So in the last class we have started with the chapter number 21, that is the HTML forms, that is a how to generate the form, or we can say how to design the form that is used in the HTML, so that the user can build in, or user can fill the entries in the form, and that is used for the backend application, that is used for the data generation, that is used for the report generation. So forms are required when you want to collect some data from the site visitor. For example, during the user registration, you would like to collect information such as name, email address, credit card, etc. So whenever if there is any registration, so various information are collected like username, email address, credit card, etc. A form will take input from the site visitors and then will post it to a backend application. So first of all, a form will take the input from the site visitor and then post it to the backend application such as the CGI, that is a common gateway interface, then ASP script, that is the active server pages script, then PHP script, that is a personal home page script. So there are various applications, that is a backend profile that is used for the HTML forms. And this is a syntax that we have studied, that is how to use the HTML form. That is a form, then there is a action, this is the attribute that is used with the form tag, then there is a method that is either get or the post, then form elements like input area, text area, etc. Then the form will be closed. So we are giving, or we want to give, if you want to give any area that is used, that is specified with the within the form tag, that is the form action equals to script URL, then method equals to get or the post, any method and any criteria that is used for the form tag. And these are the various attributes that is used with the form tag. So there are in totality 5 attributes that is used. The first attribute, that is the action, then next is a method, then next is the target, then encryption type. So these are the 5 attributes that is used with the form. So what is the role of the action attribute? That is used to process the past data. Then method, that contains two values, either the get, either the post. Then target, that specify the target window or the frame where the result of the script will be displayed, that is a target. Then encryption type, that is a encryption type is also given, that is a enc type, that is also used with the password with the content that is used in the HTML form. Then next we have talked about the HTML form control, that is what are the various controls, what are the various HTML forms control that is available within the HTML forms. So there are multiple HTML forms control. The first is the text input control. So if I am going to give the input as a text, or text as the input, so what is the control name? That is a text input controls. Then checkbox controls, then radio box control, then select box control, then file select boxes, then hidden control, clickable buttons, and the submit and the reset buttons. So these are the various controls that is available within the HTML forms. And we have discussed about only one thing, or the only one control in the last class, that is the text input control. I'm going to continue with the next control, or with the preceding controls, that is the checkbox control, radio box control, select box control, file select boxes, hidden control. So these are the various controls that is used within the HTML forms. So first of all, we have started with the text input controls, and there are 3 types of text input control that is available. One is a single line text input control, one is a password input control, one is a multi-line text input controls. And we have discussed in the last class, that is how to use the single line text input control, what are the various attributes it is using, then the password input control, and how to mask the character, that is how to hide the characters. That is how to give the password input control, and how to give the masking of the character, that is available in the password input control. And the multi-line text input control is not available, that is we are going to cover in a class that is available. So first of all, we have studied about the single line text input control. So this control is used for the item that requires only one line of user control, such as search box or the name. So if there is any name, that is a username and the password that is available, that is a single line text input control that is used for the single line text input control that is created with the use of the HTML input tag. So which tag is used? That is the HTML input tag is used to create the single line text input control. This is the title, this is the head clause, then this is the body, then this is the form that is available. This is the form, then first name, that is a if I want to print as it is, that is printed with without any b, without any body, because it is available within the body tag. So this is used as a paragraph. So that is the first name. Then input type equals to text, that means the type that is available of the input, that is a text, and the name that is available is the first name. Then there is a br, that is a break, then last name, then again the input type text, the name is last name. The first type is text, then another type is also text, and the name is first name and the last name. This is available like this one. This is the first name, this is the last name. And we also talked about the what are the various attributes that is used with the input tag, like this one: type, then name. This is the type that indicates the type of the input control that is used. For the text input control, it will set to the text, that is a type. The name, that is given a name when the server to be recognized, or if we want to recognize that which is the username, which is the password, which is the first name, which is the last name. So for recognition purpose, we use the name, that is a name, that is the attribute that is used with the input tag. Then there is a value that can be used to provide an initial value inside the control, that is a value. Then size attribute that allows to specify the width of the text input control in terms of the characters. Then max length that allowed to specify the maximum number of characters a user can enter into the text box, that is a maximum length, that is how many maximum characters will be available, how many maximum characters will be displayed within the HTML window, that is a maximum length. For example, if the user gives the 4 characters and maximum length is of the 8 characters, so user can give only the maximum of the 8 characters. Then we also talked about the password input control, that is what are the various password input control that will be used. So this is also a single line, but it masks the character. What is the difference between the first one, that is we are using, and the password input control? The main difference is that in the password input control, it masks the characters as soon as the user enters it. They're also created using the HTML input tag, but the type attribute is said to be password. So in this we are giving the type as a text, that is normal text. In this we are giving the type as a password, so that it will be encrypted, it will be masked the character. So whenever I give the password, what we have covered in the last class, so whatever we are giving the password, that is displayed within the asterisk form, within the mask form, so that it cannot be read by any person, it cannot be read by any person. That is a password. Then we also talked about the attribute that is similar to the single line argument, that is a normal text argument that is used, that is a text, value, name, value, size, maximum, length. Then next is the multi-line text input control, that is the today's topic, that is how to use the multi-line text input control that is defined by the text area. Single line means every content that we are going to fill in within the form that is in the of the single line, and a multi-line means this is a long text box that is used. So that is a multi-line command that is used when the user is required to give the details that may be longer than a single sentence. So if the information that is required to feed into the HTML that requires more than one sentence, that is more than a single line sentence, then it is required a multi-line text input control. For the single line, the input tag is used. In the same way, for the multiple lines, the text area tag is used. So instead of the input tag, the new tag that is introduced, that is the text area tag, that is used for the multi-line text input control, that is the text area tag. And this is the basic example of the multi-line text input used to take item description. So this is how to get the input to take the item description. So first is the doc type HTML, then HTML, then head, then title. Within the title, it is given multiple line input control. Then the title will be closed, then the head will be closed, then the body will be opened, then the form will be opened. So this is as it is that we have covered in the single line input controls. Then within the form there is a description, that is a word that is given, that is a description. Then there is a BR, that is for the break the line. Then text area, that is given the text area, then rows equals to 5, columns equals to 50. So in a text area it is given that there are total 5 rows and 50 columns, that is the rows equals to 5 and the columns equals to 50, and the name that is given is a description. So it is used to recognize within the HTML, that is given by the name, that is a description, and there are total 5 rows. That means a person can write the data within the 5 rows within a box, and there are total 50 columns, that is user can write within the 50 columns of the we can say the text area within the box that is defined by the text area. Then it is available, enter description here, then text area closed, that means this is a tag that is used for the building the multiple line text area. Then form will be closed, body will be closed, HTML will be closed. So this is a basic example, that is how to use the multi-line text input control that is used to take the item description. Now this is the output that is available, this is the description, that is a word. Now this is the box that contains the 5 rows and the 50 columns. So this is enter description here. You have to describe, you have to write over here. So multi-level line or multi-level line input control or input is given or input box is available with the help of the text area tag. Now next is, what are the various attributes that is used with the text area tags. So let's see what are the various attributes. The first attribute that is used is the name, that is also used to recognize, that is we are giving the name as a text area, we are giving the name as a value, so that gives the send to the server to recognize and get the value. Then rows, that indicate the number of rows of the text area box, that means that indicates how many number of rows are available or how many rows are available of the text area box, that is a rows. And then columns, that indicates the number of columns of the text area box, that is what are the various number of columns of the text area box. So one is a name, one is a rows, one is a column. This is available over here. This is the rows equals to 5, columns equals to 50, and the name equals to description. So these are the three parts that we are using, that is the rows, column, and the name. Now input control is over. Next control that is available is the checkbox control. So if I want to write something, if I want to write the name, age, roll number, anything that we are going to fill, that is done by the input control. Now next is the checkbox control. Suppose I want to make the checkboxes, that is the hobbies, that is the singing, dancing, cooking, that is available or that is used with the checkbox control. So checkboxes are used when more than one option is required to be selected. So if I require that I have more than one hobbies, that is required or that is selected by using the checkboxes. So checkboxes are used when more than one option is required to be selected. And they are also created using the HTML input tag, but type attribute is set to be checkbox. The tag name is same, that is the input tag, but the type attribute that is used that requires is set to be checkbox. So in the first part that we are using, that the type is required as a text. In the same way, in the checkbox control, the input, then there is an attribute that is required, that is a input type equals to checkbox. So whenever we are giving the type equals to checkbox, so it is displayed within the 4 lines by displaying the checkboxes. So this is an example of the HTML code for a form with the 2 checkboxes. This is the doc type HTML, then head, then title. Within the title it is available, that is a checkbox control. Then the title will be closed, then the head will be closed, body will be closed, form will be opened. Then input type equals to checkbox. Look, so this is available as a checkbox, that is the type that we are giving as a checkbox. Then name equals to mass, value equals to on. So these are the 3 attributes that is used with the input tag of the checkbox, that is the type, then name, then value. Then whatever the content that I want to display with beyond the checkboxes, that is available or that is written over here, that is a mass. Then type equals to checkbox, then name equals to physics, value equals to on, then physics. That means there are 2 checkboxes that is available, one is a math, one is a science. Then the form tag will be closed, body tag will be closed, HTML will be closed. This is the coding for the HTML that contains the 2 checkboxes, that is a checkbox control. Now this is the output, that is the math and the physics. So there are two checkboxes that is available, one is of the math, one is of the physics. Now what are the various attributes that is used with the input tag of the checkbox? One is a type, one is a name, one is a value, one is a check. So there are four attributes that is used. One is a type that indicates the type of input control, and for the checkbox input control it will be set to the checkbox. That is what is the input control, what is the checkbox that is used, that is available with this one. So if I am going to use the checkbox, so the type is always given as a checkbox. The name that is also used to recognize, that is required by the server, that is the name. For example, in this the name is given as a math, name is given as a physics. Then value equals to on. So the value that will set if the checkbox is selected. Now set to checked if you want to set it by default. So if you want that by default, it is available tick over here. So you can simply write over here that is a checked, nothing else. So whenever you write the check, that means it is already checked by default, right? So now let's execute this code. First of all, let's save the file. That is a checkbox.html. Put on the desktop. This is checkbox.html. This is math and the science. So we can simply click on it. So we can click on this part only. If we have again click, then it is deactivated, it is activated, it is also deactivated, activated. This is the code that is available for the math and the science. Now if I want that math is already checked, so I can simply write checked over here. Sorry, physics can simply checked, so I can simply write checked over here. So whenever I execute this code, so by default it is available as the checked. We can change it, by default it is available by using the checked word. This is also attribute that is used, that is available, that is a checked, that is a check that is used, that set to checked if you want to select it by default. Now next control is a radio button control. In the same way there is a checkbox, there is a radio button control that is used, that are either married or unmarried, either math or the physics, either male or the female, that is a sex, either male or female. So next is the radio button, that is how to use the radio button control. So this is a control that is used to for making the radio button. So when we have discussed the control, that is a checkbox control. Now next is a control that is a radio button control, that is how to make the checkbox. So what is the difference between the now next is to make the radio button. So what is the difference between the checkbox and the radio button? In the checkboxes the user can select more than one option at a time in the HTML form, that is done by the checkboxes. For example, hobbies, and a radio button in which the user can select only one option at a time. For example, male or female, married or unmarried. That is, we can select only one option, that is a radio button. So checkbox is more than one option at a time. Radio button only one option at a time, that is a radio button. So radio buttons are used when out of many options just one option is to be selected, that is a radio button controls. So this is says that out of many options, just one option is required to be selected, and they are created using the HTML input tag. Everything is same, but the type that is given as the type equals to checkbox. In this, the type is given as a radio, nothing else. But whenever we are giving the type as a radio, that creates the radio button automatically. So look, everything is possible or everything is available with the use of the input tag only, but the type that is also all changed only. That is a checkbox, that is a radio. That means the type is changed, everything else is same. So this is the input tag that is used, but the type attribute is said to be radio. This is one of the example of the HTML code for a form with two radio button that is used. This is a radio button control, that is a title, then there is a head close, then body start, then form. Within the form that is available, that is input type equals to radio. So type is given as a radio, that is used with the input tag. then name equals to subject, that is it is only used for recognizing to the server, that is name equals to subject, then the value that is given as a mass, and in the next line again the radio, then subject, again the value that is given as a physics, then it is available over here as a physics. Then the form tag will be closed, body tag will be closed, and the HTML tag will be closed. So this is the radio button controls, or this is the radio button control, that is how to create the radio button, that is the radio, subject, mass, then radio, subject, physics, then the physics will be used. Then the form tag will be closed, then the body tag will be closed, and the HTML tag will be closed. This will produce the following output, that is either math or science. Users can select only one option. Now let's execute this radio button control code. Go to the notepad, open a new notepad file, save, press the control key, that is a radio.html. Put on the desktop, go to the desktop. This is radio.html. Now let's see the output. This is the math and physics, and if I click on this one, this is activated. If I click on this one, this is deactivated, and the next one is activated. That means we can select any one option at a time, that is the radio button. But I want that by default it is available, or the math is available as a checked, as we do in the which one, that is checkboxes. So what can I do? Only write the check. So it automatically available as a checked of the mass, but we can change it, we can change over it, we can change over it, right? So this is how to use the radio button. Now what are the various attribute? The same attribute, that is a type, that is a name, then the value, then the check. So these are the four attributes that is used, that is exactly the same value, the same attribute that is used, that is the type, name, value, and the check. Now next is the select box control. So checkboxes is over, radio button control is over. Now next is the checkbox control. A checkbox, select box control, that is a select box, also known as a drop down box. So if I want to choose any item from the drop down list, for example if there are 5 lists that is available, that is a drop down list, and if I want to choose only one option at a time, that is a select box control, or that is done by the select box control. So this is also known as a drop down box, which provide options to list down various options in the form of drop down list. So there are various options that is available within the list, that is known as a drop down list, and that is controlled by the, or that is done by the, that is managed by the select box control in the form of drop down list, from where a user can select one or more options. So user can select one or more options from the select box control. So the title will be used the same. Now instead of using the input tag, the select tag is used. So which tag is used? That is a select tag, and the name equals to drop down. This is a name attribute that is used the same for the recognition purpose, that is a name attribute that is used, that is the name equals to drop down, then option, value equals to mass. So the in a option, the whatever the content that we are giving in the drop down menu, that is available within the option. So option value equals to mass, then selected, it is selected, not checked. So whenever we use a selected, that is automatically by default it is selected, that is selected, then there is a mass, then the option will be closed, then again the new option will be opened, then the value equals to physics, then physics, then the option will be closed. So this is one option, this is the mass, and this is another option, that is a physics. Then the select will be closed, then the form will be closed, then body will be closed, then HTML will be closed. So within the select there are two parts of the drop down menu, one is the mass and the physics. One is a math, another one is a physics. So that creates a drop down menu by using the select, that is the name equals to drop down. Now if I execute this code, let's see the output over here. This is the math, this is a drop down menu. When I click on the drop down menu, that one more item is available, that is a physics. So now let's execute this code. Save the file as a select.html. Now this is maths. When I click on it, more drop down menu, that is the physics. This is the coding for the this select box, that is drop down menu. Whatever the name that is given, that is a drop down menu. So if I want to change the name, for example, if I change the name to ABC, now let's see any impact. No, there is no impact over here. This is available over the same. So the name does not make the impact, but the type makes the impact. And this is not an attribute. There is no attribute that is used as a type. Only the tag that is used, that is a select tag, is used. Then option, then value equals to mass, then selected, that is by default it is selected, that is a mass. Then mass, that is a printed over here, then the option will be closed and the option will be closed. Now if I want to generate more or more options over in the drop down menu, suppose I want to create these options. So this is math, then physics, then chemistry, then eco, then biology, then computers, for example. Now let's see what is the impact. Now this is wider term. Now if I click on it, this is the selected physics, then chemistry, then eco, then bio, then computer. I can select anything, but by default it is available as a mass, because we are giving in this, there is a selected, that is a mass. But if I change the selected over here to computer, for example, now let's see. So this is computer that is coming over here, and you can select anything. So by default it is available as a selected, that is the use of the select box, that is a drop down menu. Now what are the various attributes? First is the name, that is used to give the name, to recognize, to get the value. Then the size, this can be used to present a scrolling list box, that is if I am giving that the size equals to 3, that means only 3 items are available over here, that is the size attribute. Then multiple, that allows to select the multiple times from the menu. And these are the various attribute that is used with the option tag, that is a value that is given over here, that is a value equals to mass, value equals to physics. Then selected, that means selected whatever the page select, that is initially selected the value when the page loads. Then the label, that is the alternative way of the labeling the options. Now next control is the file upload control, upload box. So that is how to create the file upload box, that is how to upload the box. So we can say how to create the boxes, like submit button, like reset button, how to create the button, that is a file upload box. So if you want to allow a user to upload a file to your website, you will need to use a file upload box, also known as a file select box. That means a box that is used, that is known as a file select box, that is used to upload your files on the website, that is used to make the file upload box, that is known as the file select box. This is also created using the input element, but the type attribute is set to be this one. So what's the input, or what the tag that is used, that is the input tag that is used for the file uploading, for uploading the files on the website. And these are the various attribute that is used over here. Now first is the submit. So whenever we use the submit, that creates a, or this creates a button that automatically submits a form. When I click on the submit button, this automatically submits a form to the backend profile, backend application. Then reset, this creates a button that automatically resets the form control to their initial value. So whatever their initial value that is used with the initial content, that is a reset. So this is the button that automatically resets form control to their initial value, that is a reset button. Then normal button, so this creates a button that is used to trigger a client server script when the user click that button. So whenever a user click that button, that is used as a client server script, that is used as a button that is used for the clicking by the user, that is a button. So one is a submit, one is a reset, one is normal the button. Then the image, this creates a clickable button, but we can use an image as a background of the button. So we can create the image as a background of the button, we can create the image as a background of the of the button that is used, that is the image tag or the image description that is used. So this click or this creates a clickable button, but we can use an image as a background of the button. So we can give the background of the button as a image also. So this is the example that shows how to use three types of button that is available over here. So first is the doc type HTML, then there is a HTML, then there is a head, then within the title it is given as a file upload box. So this is the title bar that is given, that is a file upload box. Then next is the head, that is the head will be closed, then the body will be opened. So after closing the head, the body will be opened. Then use the form tag. So use the form tag after the body tag. So then input type equals to submit. So what is the type of the input tag? That is a submit. The name equals to submit, value equals to submit. So type is given as a submit, that is it is a submit button that is used. Then the name that is given as a submit, then the value that is also given as a submit. Then so this type makes a lot of impact. So whenever we use that submit type, that means it is submitted to the backend application. Then type equals to reset, that means the type that is given as a reset, that means resets the page, that is every we can say the label is blank, every set is blank, that is the reset. That is the input type equals to reset that is used. So in this the every page or the full page is reset to the new location, or the reset it to the new location, that is a reset. That means the page is empty, whatever the data field that is empty, that is done by the reset button. So this is type equals to reset, name equals to reset, value equals to reset. Then type equals to button, then name equals to OK, then value equals to OK. So if I want to create any button, that is a OK button, that is done by the type equals to button. Then image button that is used, that is the image button src equals to this one, that is whatever the image button that is used, that is over display over here. So whatever the button, whatever the style that we are using, that is the types of the button, that is only available with the input tag, but it is defined within the type. That is the type equals to this one, type equals to this one, type equals to this one. Then form tag will be closed, body tag will be closed, HTML tag will be closed. Now let's execute this code. This is button.html. Now go to the desktop. This is button.html. Now these are the three buttons that is available. One is the image impact, that is not an impact. So if you click on submit, this will submit the button. Reset, OK. So this is the clickable button. Look, this is refresh. You see this button, this is refresh, that means it is clicking. Reset, there is no clicking. OK, there is no clicking. But submit, this is a clicking, that means it will move to the new location. So these are the ways by which we can create the buttons. This is the output of this one, this is the image button. Now next control is the hidden form control, that is how to use the hidden control, that is like the password, like the control that is used, that is the hidden controls. So the next control that is used as a hidden form control that is used. So this is the hidden form control that are used to hide the data inside the page that is used, or which later can be pushed on the screen. So whatever the hidden screen that is used, so that is a hidden form that is used as a control that is used to push in the data, that is pushed on the data to the server. And this control hides inside the code and does not appear on the actual page. So whatever the content, whatever the control that hides inside the code, so this control hide inside the code and does not appear on the actual page. For example, following hidden form is being used to keep the current page number. When the user click on the page, that a hidden control will be available on the server, and it will decide which page has been displayed next to the or next on the past current page. So that is which page is displayed based on the hidden form control. So in the next class I am discussing your next chapter, that is the chapter number 23, that is the HTML marquee. So let's stop over here only. In the next class I am discussing your, or I am taking your next topic and discussing your next topic, that is chapter number